Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson coming off of a very, very shortened injury season last year. Played all of 4 games with 84 attempts, uh, 50 completions, 577 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Did have 136 yards on the ground with 4 rushing touchdowns. Thoughts on Anthony Richardson?
If healthy, he is the cheat code. But that if is so much greater than 2 letters. Like, I
Capital I,
just
capital F.
right, like, I just don't know how else to explain. He's the ultimate cheat code. I understand the allure. I understand the go big here. Like, I completely get this. And that's what I'm thinking here. Like, if you're going Anthony Richardson, you have to make damn certain you have a second quarterback on your roster who is more than just a rotational fill in, right? Like, you want, I don't know that Matt Stafford even cuts it. And
Right.
Stafford's, was ranked higher than Rodgers. I would go Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's who I would be targeting. And yes, he's coming off the Achilles injury, but for most home leagues, like, you can figure this out as you come towards draft time. Like Baker would be a good one. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're grabbing Richardson, back it up with Baker. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I would rather take a second running back. I would rather take a third wide receiver, something like that, and a guy that is going to play week in and week out and figure out my quarterback position elsewhere. Again, personally, I'm pretty risk averse when it comes to my starting quarterback.
I absolutely understand the desire to go out there and draft Anthony Richardson with a 5th round pick, QB 6 overall, because he's a guy that could finish QB number 1 overall, right? Like there's not many guys that you're drafting this late that can be a there's not many guys you can draft in the 5th round that will have the opportunity to finish as the number 1 overall position, um, positional player at that position, right? Like it doesn't really happen that much, and more so doesn't really happen to a point where it's a position that can outscore a lot of other positions there, right? Like because in the little bit of time that we saw in his 2 starts that he actually completed both games, he averaged more fantasy points per game than Josh Allen did, right? Granted, it's a sample size of 2 versus Josh Allen had the entire season going there, right? Like there's a lot to that. But there's also a lot to this from a standpoint of, yes, he's a cheat code. Yes, he has phenomenal athleticism. Yes, all of these things point to yes. There's also a whole lot of this that leads me with a whole lot of big question marks here. And I'm kind of in the same boat you are with I don't know that I want to risk it all here in the 5th round with my quarterback.